What were you doing at 6:15 on Wednesday morning? Sleeping? Getting ready for work? Well, Ohio football is getting ready to go to work too. Breakfast and meetings, and on the field at Walter Fieldhouse at 9 a.m. for the first practice of Fall Camp 2023. I'm Russ Eisenstein, the voice of the Ohio Bobcats, and our Cat Camp coverage is presented by GoMart. If you're thinking, well, everything seems to be a week earlier than it was last year, well, you're thinking correctly, because Media Day was a week early, start of Fall Camp a week early, because Ohio plays a week early. Earliest Ohio has ever opened a season, week 0 against San Diego State in California. A lot to be accomplished between now and then. The thoughts of head coach Tim Albin and coordinators Scott Isfording, Spence Nowinski, and Nate Faunus about what they're looking for out of their units in Fall Camp.
The continuation of the leadership of our guys, our older guys on the team. I've said before, we've got 21 guys that already have a bachelor's degree, plus with what we return, the freshman guys that played last year for us. So we're at an advanced stage right now with an older football team. So as I said, in Detroit, the biggest goal is going to be have all three phases clicking at the same time early in the year. There's going to be some rust and things like that as we go through, as we get going. But all three phases going, and we got some things to find out in the kicking game, right? With the loss of last year, So anyway, that's the number one goal.
Yeah, I think you always want to see your veterans take another step. Unfortunately, we've got a good number of guys that have a lot of experience back, but we need, the term we're using, raise the bar. And those guys need to raise the bar. Sam Wiglis needs to be better than he was last year. Curtis Rourke needs to be better than he was last year. And Kurt Daniker and Parker Titsworth and on down the line, CA and all the guys that everybody knows about, but they need to be better. But then also, we had to play a lot of the guys that I didn't mention in really key moments last year, CJ Harris and on down the line, that those guys, you need to find your depth too. Who are the guys that are going to get on the bus for San Diego State, but who might be better by the time we play Kent here, and forecast that. So, and then obviously you got to have your guys, and that's always the tough part is staying healthy. And you want, Curtis didn't get to do team in the spring. Today was his first team since Ball State week last year. So you want those guys to get a little bit of that feel, but you got to bring the young guys along too.
We just have to regain who we are identity-wise. We hang our hat on being tough. We hang our hat on being relentless. We have to do that. Today, not as fanatical as I was hoping to be. Flying around, talking, being relentless like we have been in the past. So that's what we have to kind of regain, regarner. We have a few guys dinged up here and there. So again, some young guys in some spots. Well, the older guys have to lift those guys up, and that's what we're looking for right now.
Yeah, I think, the biggest thing is competition, and there's a lot of guys vying for a lot of spots, whether it's at kicker, punter, or even snapper. And so, the biggest thing is creating that competition. The guys are going to have a lot of opportunities and finding out who the next guy is going to be in each of those spots.
The early Cat is going to get the practice, and it's a good thing too, because much like the rest of the country, Southeast Ohio is going to roast from now to the end of the week and into next week. Temperatures in the 90s, so Walter Fieldhouse is certainly going to be used. Ohio will have to get out into the elements, because it very well could be very warm in Southern California in week 0 against San Diego State. All of this from the season that was, 10 wins, 7 in league play, East Division title, going to Detroit, the bowl win, and then the buzz into spring ball, into off-season conditioning, leads us to right now. So do you have your season tickets yet? 6 home games and 5 Saturday games, which in the confines of midweek football is like winning the lottery. Miami is one of those, and Iowa State one of those too. Always big to have a Power 5 opponent come in. This time it's the Cyclones. They've been here before. Ohio played in Ames last year. Hopefully Ohio can spin past the Cyclones this year. So season tickets available. The home opener against LIU coming up in week 1, which actually is game number 2. I still don't get the week 0 thing, but it is what it is, right? We'll have coverage during camp for you. The first scrimmage will actually be practice number 10. That'll be a good mile marker. But we're off to the races. Cat Camp is underway, and our coverage is presented by Gomart. For Jordan Bowes, I'm Russ Eisenstein. I'm going to throw this around a little bit. This is Bobcat TV.